Let's talk about how to use image blocks. Okay, so on your screen, if you click either of these two plus insert points, you can then click image. You have a few different choices when you're uploading an image. You can either have an image drag and drop into the space. You can drag and drop it into where it says add an image. You can click add an image. You can upload a file. You can click add an image, and you have two other options. You can select from my library. So if you've uploaded any photos previously, you can find them all here. So if you use it on another page and you want to use it on the page you're working on, you can open it up here. Or you can use browse stock images. Now this gives you a whole bunch of free images that you can choose from. You can search for different types of images. Oh my God, so cute. You can search for other types of images. These are free for you to use, right? And then there's premium images that you have to pay for. If you're using Canva, which is what I recommend, then you don't have to worry about this, right? But for now, I'm just going to upload a file. I'm gonna click my raccoon, which is my favorite animal. Let's talk about a few of the different options. So you can have the ability to add a caption. So caption is just something that's either overlaying on hover or below. So for example, with overlay, this is a raccoon, right? So this means that when I overlay my image, or this is going to always be overlaying on the image, right? So every time somebody sees this image, they're going to see that overlay text. Your other options is that you can have it to where when you hover over the image, right, it shows it to you, boom. Or you can just have none at all. Also, if I have my image over here and I want to be able to do some basic editing, so maybe I want it to face the other direction, my raccoon to face the other direction, I can click edit, and I've got a few different options, right? I can adjust the brightness. I can crop my image to be a different ratio, right? I can flip it here. So if I want the raccoon's, butt to be on the right-hand side, I can do that. I can also rotate it. Oh, there we go. And then also we have a bunch of filters, just like you'd see on like Instagram or other apps that you can choose when you're trying to optimize your photo. This is all stuff that you can do in Canva and probably should do in Canva before you come in here, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew where it was at. Next, you can link your image so that if somebody clicks your image, it takes them to that desired link. I like to use this for buttons. Next, we're going to talk about the design tab. So there's a few different things you need to think about when it comes to images. First, let's talk about shape. So I uploaded this. This was a square image, but if I wanted to make it a different shape, I can click shape, right? But you have even more options when it comes to shape. So for example, if I click shape and I click shape again, I've got a whole bunch of 1x1 options that I can use for this image. Depending on whatever's interesting to me, right? If I have a 2x3 or a 3x2, I can also use these guys. But this is cool just to make your images look a lot different, right? Next up, we have what's called stretch. This just, so if you notice that there's some space on the sides of this image, if I click stretch, it's going to take up that space so that we don't have as much space. So maybe you wanted your image to be a little bit larger. You can use that to stretch it to fit the space that you have. Lightbox means that if somebody clicks it, then it's going to open it up in a light box. You can choose between a dark or a light theme. So what this looks like is if I click it, oops, done. If I click it, it's going to open up like this. It's going to show the caption, and it's also going to have a dark overlay in the background. This is cool if you're trying to feature photography or anything like that, right? All right, next up, when we're thinking about our images, click my pencil icon. When we have design, there's a few different types of images that you can create. You can do the poster, and this is where it puts text on top of the image. You can do the card, where it puts it on the side. Notice that I can toggle between left and right when I'm trying to choose how I want to use my card. I can do overlap, which has like a title or a heading that's on top of the picture where the text is over here on the side. I can choose Collage, which it kind of makes like a scrapbooky type of thing where I have a rectangle or a square that's slightly overlapping the image. And then I have Stack, and this is where my text is just going to be beneath the actual image. And again, right now this image is huge, but I'm going to show you how to modify the shape of your image using spacer blocks in a later course. So stick around for that. All right, now let's talk about some fun ways that we can edit these things. Now, you see that you can always link it, right? So you can add a link to it, but what you can also do with some of these options, and it's different for every type of layout, is you can add a button, right? And if you notice right here, there's no text. This is a raccoon. Come on, spell raccoon. There we go. And then I can link it to the appropriate thing with that button. Okay, now say you have your collage block, but you don't like how this collage is coming over on top of the face of the raccoon. It looks like he's like hiding behind it, and you want to fix that. So if you want to change any of the spacing, the colors, all of that stuff, then we're going to have to go to this paintbrush icon here at the top right, the site styles. So we click that, then we're going to click image blocks. And we're going to notice that we can adjust all of the different things that we want to do for this, right? So if I want to offset this, if I want to change the padding on any of the sides of this, if I want to make the text center aligned or left aligned, I can do all that stuff here. Now, maybe you want to change the color of the stuff, right? So you don't like the color of this button, you want to change the color of this button. No problem. You're going to go to Site Styles, you're going to go to Colors, and then you're going to see the type of color theme that you have. So right here it says the lightest one. That lets me know that this image block is under the lightest one theme. I'm going to click into it. I'm going to click my image, and then it's going to give me all of the colors for my image, right? So now I can change this button background if I want to make it black or whatever. You can change all of that stuff. Image overlay is one you'll see a lot. So image overlay is like it changes the color of the image a little bit. I don't want to have an image overlay, so I will take this all the way down. So if you upload your image and you notice it's not looking exactly like you want it to, oftentimes it's because the image overlay is already on. So if I, again, if I adjust that, it just means that there's a small filter on top of it, which if you don't want, you're going to change that so that it's completely transparent. One thing that's super important that you need to know is that if you change the colors of a block of anything on your site here in the site styles, it's going to change it everywhere else where that particular block is used, right? So if I use this collage block and I want to change the button of one of these, anywhere I've used this collage block under the lightest one theme, this is going to be the color. All of the button colors will change to this black as well, right? So keep that in mind anytime that you're changing anything when it comes to site styles. So one more thing while we're here, if you are changing the colors of one thing, so for example, you're changing the color of this block, right? And you notice that you also want to change the color of this button or anything else on your site. Then if you click into that thing while you're in the colors section of the site styles, it will pull up the actual thing over here, right? So now I can change the color of this button. And if I go back and I click the image again, it's going to allow me to change the color of the image, right? So that's something you should also know. Last but not least, we have animations. So if I take my raccoon here, I click design and I scroll down to where I see animation. I've got a few different types of animations that I can choose from. And when you click on it, it will show you what it looks like when it comes in, right? So we can choose the one that looks coolest to us. Now, one thing to think about is that all these animations, they do add a lot of code to your website, right? So you want to use them sparingly. You don't want to make everything animated. It's bad for the user. You only want to do it when it really adds some value. But if you do want to animate something, here is how you do it. Remember, this is just part of our 4-course series. You can find the full courses all linked up in the description box below. Let's put the art back into content marketing. I'll see you on the next video.